I'll be all right.
Support for anything.
That's all right. You got the seat right there.
Oh, okay. Oh, nervous.
Are you gonna put your bags up here?
Yeah. People for the court, baby, for bad.
All right.
Whoa.
Don't fall. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
nervous. I brought the, well, I'm totally not bringing my laptop. I don't know.
Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear.
Thank you.
Hey, Joe, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thanks.
Tune up a little, Joe.
How is this?
A little higher. Gotta go up a little.
Hang on, let me try something.
I need you to sound just like Mashke.
Yeah.
Nice and loud.
Something's. I don't know why it's less than it was in our pre-meeting. Yes, that's what you're telling me?
Yes.
Good morning, it's Patty.
Morning, Patty.
Is there just three of you today, Mr. Chairman?
No, there should be all of us.
Okay, thank you.
At least we were all in the pre-meeting.
Can you hear me any better now?
Oh yeah, you're loud and clear.
Okay. That's weird.
It's Patty again. I don't see Mr. Bradley unless he's calling user 2 or with Carmella.
Uh,
It was a few minutes. We're still working on some technical difficulties.
there we go.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, hello?
There you go. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you, bye.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we're ready to go.
Okay,
Oh, wait, is Tom? I didn't see Tom in my list. You guys see Tom Vanover?
I'm here.
Okay. All right, we're ready to go.
okay. Board of Billing Standards and Appeals in session. Read the preamble in compliance with notification requirements of Ohio's open meeting law in section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976. Notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the city planning department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting has the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activities being recorded by way of the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed by way of YouTube. All requests to speak on a particular matter by way of our website and email have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Ms. Aston?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If we can verify it's being live streamed.
Yes, it's being live streamed.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Chairman, as we do at the beginning of each time since the beginning of the pandemic, city does object to the use of the chat functions based upon the rules promulgated at the Ohio Supreme Court at the beginning of the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Davis, call the roll.
Mr. Maschke,
Here.
Mr. Bradley,
Here.
Mr. Dink,
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. So we're going to call, the first docket we're going to call is the second on our list, Mr. Rulon. So we're going to go to A8221.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance issued on September 13th of 2021. Appeal statement received September 28th of 2021 requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record. I need you to state your name for the record.
Rose Munn.
Yeah, speak up a little louder so they can hear you.
Rose Munn.
Okay, Ms. Munn, you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, this is docket 2211 East 76th Street. Okay, can you let us know what your plans are?
I need help
Okay,
to fix it and paint it.
okay. I see you've done some work on it on the lower portion. Okay, well, let me go over to Mr. Vanover.
Bear with me just a moment. So
Okay.
this is an exterior maintenance violation notice. Mr. Chairman, Ms. Munn, is this owner occupied? Do you live in this?
The front house. Yes.
She said yes.
Okay, so there's two houses located on this property?
Yes, could the one in the back be torn down?
And that one is torn down?
A tree, a branches and fell on that.
So, Mr. Chairman, this has already been referred to the senior initiative for follow-up. And Inspector Shockley has been involved with this. I'm not clear on which house we are, if this is for the front house or the rear house. My record doesn't indicate.
Okay, Ms. Munn, you want to clarify, is this the front house?
The front house, what we're looking at right now.
Okay. Well, that's the one that's before us. That's 2211, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it is the front house. Is this one that maybe we should remand it, Mr. Vanover?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we would ask that you remand it. This is an exterior maintenance. It appears to be an exterior maintenance of an owner-occupied property. Ms. Munn, I recommend you speak to Inspector Shockley regarding what happens with the rear house, as well as any assistance that the senior initiative and Department of Aging can provide. But Mr. Chairman, Ms. Munn, were you issued, and I apologize for my, just for, my candor here. Were you issued tickets? Have you appeared before housing court?
Before, no, not, no, only, since since I got the letter. I mean, I never appeared in the court, only here.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Munn, does the rear house share the 2211 address, or is there another address?
It's 2213.
Okay, different address.
Yeah, bear with me one moment, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. So Ms. Munn is aware, there will be people from the city Department of Aging and Building and Housing trying to contact her. It would be either Inspector Mike Shockley for Building and Housing or a Mr. Ed Tightco from Aging. I know that people prey on the elderly, Mr. Chairman, and try to scam people, but the city, she is in the senior initiative, and they do want to have engagement with her. So she's aware.
They've already met with her, Patty.
Okay, good.
I understand that. I say that because of information given to me from yesterday's meeting.
Oh, I was okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good. So Ms. Davis is with her, so that she'll make sure that things get communicated, that she understands it totally. Okay, Mr. Vanover?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we just ask that you remand it back to us and allow the Department of Aging to do what they can. Well, of course, we don't have the authority to make any promises on their behalf. But it appears that there's no resources and no real plan to move forward.
Okay. Motion is in order to deny any more time and remand the property to the Division of Building and Housing for any further action.
So move. Second.
Motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent out within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Give me 1 second.
No, you go ahead. I'm gonna have Mr. Rulon move us back up to the top.
While we're paused, Mr. Maschke, will you have time after the meeting for a phone call?
Yes.
All right, if you could just give me a call when we're finished.
What number would you like me to call you at? Your mobile or your office?
On my mobile.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we're back to the top, building, docket A 2273 West 11th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is no permit and a stop work order issued on May 27th of 2022. Appeal statement received June 2nd of 2022. Requesting for more time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Charbel Abushaya.
Okay, Mr. Abushaya, you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Go ahead and let us know what the plans are.
Our plan is Honestly, right now we are finalizing the drawings to submit to the city so we can pull the permits. My architect is with me here. We're almost done with the drawings. We're waiting for the markup from the structural engineer. We have some work that needs to be done there. We expect that to be done in the next couple weeks, and then we're ready to present everything to the city.
Okay, very good. Mr. Vanover?
So, Mr. Chairman, hold on. Give me just a moment. Can you give me the address one more time, please?
Yes, it's 2273 West 11th Street.
Okay, so there's two notices of violation on this property, is correct? Mr. Chairman, to
Is
be
correct, is no permits and stop work order.
Okay.
Okay.
So what is the date for the submission to the city?
Okay, go ahead and present those dates again.
I don't have a hard dates, but it shouldn't be longer than 2 to 3 weeks. We expect it to be done by end of September. I don't have an exact date. I can communicate that with my architect and the structural engineer, and if possible, I can get back to you with an exact date, but we shouldn't be longer than 2 to 3 weeks, I want to say.
Okay, so 2 to 3 weeks, I guess they're presenting drawings and plans, and end of September to complete the violations.
And Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, you have a contractor that'll be performing the work?
Go ahead, Mr.
The contract to perform work?
Yeah, you'll have a contractor. So just understand that once the application is submitted and approved, you will need contractors, registered contractors, to perform the work. So my question is, you have registered contractors to perform the work?
Yes, sir.
And this is in residential property. Mr. Chairman, we don't object to 30 days.
They have this listed as a building, under building. Does that make a difference?
Hold on. This is yes, I apologize. 2.5 stories, 6 dwelling units. It should not. We don't object to 30 days, providing that all work has stopped until the permits are acquired.
Okay.
I'm assuming, Mr. Chairman, I'm assuming this property is unoccupied?
Occupied.
Okay.
It is occupied.
Meaning, so there's people living here?
There is nobody lives in this building.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's not occupied then?
No. So, Mr. Chairman, we do not object to more to 30 days to get the permits in place.
Okay. So motion is in order to give 30 days, so October 14th, 2022, to obtain the permits.
So move.
It moved by Mr. Bradley,
Second.
second by Mr. Denk.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent out to Mr. Chabel. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll move on to the next docket. Docket 8622, 3542 West 128th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance and no permit issued on May 6th of 2022. Appeal statement received May 26th of 2022 requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellate or his or her representative or attorney, please state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do not see anybody by the name of Tagish Fagu who's listed on the participant panels unless one of the attorneys is here for this appellant, but nobody has chimed in. So if you swear in Mr. Vanover, I'll do my service inquiry.
Okay, Mr. Vanover's solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis, did notice of today's public hearing get returned to the board's file for any reason?
Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Aston, no.
Thank you. And did you receive any communication on behalf of this docket or appellant, voicemail, email, fax, etc.?
Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Ashton, no.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, the due process having been given to the appellant, you have the right to proceed on this matter. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we have, there is it appears that there's 2 open notices of violation on this property as well. One for interior, exterior maintenance, and the other for,
No permit, huh?
no permit. And I'm looking, it appears that there's been a plumbing and electrical permits pulled, however, building permits are still required. And there's been no follow-up inspection showing any of the work has proceeded. So we would ask that you deny it and remand it back to the Department of Building and Housing for follow-up. It appears that they're on their way, or at least there was an initial attempt to comply. But as a rental structure, we ask that you deny it and remand it back for us to follow up.
Okay. A motion is in order to deny more time and remand the property to the Division of Building and Housing for any further action.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
motion by Mr. Dank, second by Mr. Maschke.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Next docket. Let's see, next docket is 8722, 2397 Castle Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is no permit and stop work. Issued on April 29th of 2022. Appeal statement received May 27th of 2022. Requesting time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing. Patricia Aston, Law. Would the appellant or his or her attorney or representatives please state your name for the record?
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty again. In the participants panel, I do not see a Willie Wimbush who's made the application as the owner of this.
No, I'm here.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
okay.
Perfect.
Okay,
Willie Wimbush.
very good. Okay, Mr. Wimbush, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
Well, our plans are currently right now, and I know we sent them in late. Actually, we have the owner of the property also that is present. We have our structural engineer and also the blueprints. We received them on yesterday. So now we're ready to proceed with what is next. We sent the electrician to pull the permits and also our HVAC, but by the way that things were structured, they did not let them pull them. I pulled the general permit, the building permit, on 4/29, and actually that's when I was called in. So we're ready to get to the next phase of work to get everything taken care of at this point.
Okay, how much time do you think you need?
So I have to be very transparent. I was called in after some other people had kind of ran a scam on the individuals that I'm working for. And there is a lot of work that I need to be, you know, that needs to be done, to be honest. So I'm thinking that this is about a 90-day project or so that, you know, to get everything completed that needs to be done. I'm trying to get it done before the winter, but we've been waiting over 4 months for the structural engineering blueprints, and we just got that stuff in.
Okay. Mr. Vanover?
So, Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, just to be clear, that this is a violation notice for no permits and stop work. So the expectation is not for you to complete the project, but for you to comply with the permitting and plan approval process. So you actually were issued a building permit on 4/29/22, but you said that you just received your blueprints. So the permit for 4/29 was to repair, replace drywall and flooring as needed. And obviously there's been structural changes. Your permit actually says no structural changes.
Correct.
So the expectation is that an additional building permit is required to include the structural changes as well. You're aware of this?
Yes, I'm aware. Yeah, and again, I wasn't the original contractor, so I got called in.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. So this was okay, but Willie Wimbus, the permit for 4/29 was your permit.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. With a job value of $5,600. Now, Mr. Chairman of the appellant, now that you have your drawings, what is the time to make application for the balance of the permits?
I can get the permits done within the next 2 weeks. Again, I sent the individuals down, but for some reason, the city would not let us pull additional permits. They said that we didn't have the main permit in, and I took it down there and had the electrician, HVAC. I had everyone take what I had, and they said it was not valid, and I didn't know why. But I would believe it's because of what you just said.
Yes. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make provide information based on experience without being intimately aware of what transpired during those conversations, because I wasn't there. However, the building permit for the structural work and the main rehabilitation carries the plan approval.
Mm-hmm.
And the mechanical permits cannot be pulled without a plan approval.
Okay.
And therefore, the plan approval for the general building permit carries into the mechanicals. So we don't have a plan to approve for electrical, plumbing, and HVAC. Therefore, you can't submit for the application. And if Mr. Chairman, you can, but they'll be rejected in 30 days, and it just it messes with the timeline. So we do not object to 30 days to submit the plans for approval and to have all the permits pulled.
Okay.
Providing that all work has stopped until then.
Okay. Do we have a final date on when he was thinking 3 months to complete?
Mr. Chairman, that's not before the board. There's no violations for maintenance and for other violations on the property.
Okay.
It's just for this violation is for working without a permit. Once the permit has been issued, then this violation notice, the stop work order will be lifted. This violation notice will be in compliance, and then he can follow the Residential Code of Ohio. As long as work is continuing on the property, on the project, then the permits will be in place and it can continue.
Okay, very good. Then motion is in order for an October 14th, 2022, which would be 30 days to obtain the permits and submit the drawings, take care of the matter.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Maschke.
Second.
Second by Mr. Denk.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll get notice within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next docket. Docket A 8922 2194 Junction Road.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is a condemnation of the main structure as well as the garage. Issued on May 3rd of 2022. Appeal statement received June 3rd of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Hello. Yes, my name is William Keys.
Okay, Mr. Keys, you
Yes.
solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what the plans are.
Okay, well, currently my biggest problem is my financial difficulty after the fire. I was injured jumping off a window, so I haven't been able to work this year. My daughter had money put up to help me with the house, but then her husband blew through it. Needless to say, they're no longer together. So she's waiting for her income tax return because she was audited and had to submit some documents, and they kicked one of them back. So then the process had to start over again. So they told her that they would let her know what's going on with that by October 4th. As soon as we had the money in place, I had borrowed some money off my sister to start working on the house. But then I had an ongoing problem over a water leak at the meter in my house. And they applied that to my property taxes. So I got put on a payment plan. Then they told me that would stop any further collection attempts. So I got to looking and my bill kept going up on my bill. So I went down to talk to them. And they said, well, because they referred it to the prosecutor's office, that they could open the file anytime they wanted to. And between November of this last year and just about a month ago, they had already assessed court costs and charges against me for another $2,000 on top of this. So the money I had borrowed to fix the house, I had to use to go pay the property taxes off in full to get them off my back. I mean, that's the only thing I could do at the time. I did manage to buy windows to put in the house, and I'm going to go down and get a homeowner's permit and put the windows in and stuff so we can actually see in the house do work. I did have a friend check the electrical. He is an electrician. He just looked at it and he said, really, there's not much to do there. He said that the only thing he was concerned with was 2 wires that would need a splice put in them. And he said you had to put a junction box at both ends. He explained to me what it was. And he said he would come help me whenever it's time to do this. But right now I'm kind of up in the air just because of my financial situation. I'm diabetic, and where I hurt my leg jumping off the roof of the garage really caused me a problem. So it delayed me getting the house cleaned up so Mr. Barassi, I think it's his name, Tony, could come in and even inspect the house. So when he came and inspected the house, you know, he told me to file this appeal to get some more time, but he told me it would be kind of useless for me to get the permit at that time because, you know, obviously you would expect me to get something done to the house, and since I didn't have the money to talk to the board. And like I said, she should be getting her income tax back sometime after October 4th. And I'm assuming if they notify her on October 4th, it's probably going to still be a month or two before she gets it back. And they owe her about $11,000, which I'm sure will be enough for us to fix the house. But right at the moment, I can't give an exact date just because we don't know how fast they're going to deal with this. They told us because it was an open case, they would probably get it done within a couple of months, but they have drugged this out all year long. You know, she filed in February and got the notification that she had been audited, and they sent her like $1,500 or something of her money, but she had some money put up, and like I said, her ex blew through it. So at the current time, I'm just up in the air. Like I said, my sister had loaned me the money to do repairs. We did buy windows for the house, it was a couple $1,000, and I can put them in. I can go get a permit and get that done. And, you know, to make it look better, obviously, from the outside. And
You had mentioned there was a fire. Was there insurance or anything involved?
no, I had absolutely no insurance. As I said, I'm diabetic and I hadn't worked hardly at all in the last 2 years. And it come down to a choice of either paying the insurance or buying groceries.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go over to Mr. Vanover and see what we're going to do here, because this is a condemnation order.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, do you live at did you live at this property during the fire, or did you live in Alliance?
No, I lived at that address there. Actually, the Alliance address is my son's address, and I stay with him once in a while, and I stay with my doctor. So, but the address I'm staying at currently is on West 17th Street in Cleveland. But the Alliance, like I said, I stay there sometimes, but you know, I'm back and forth.
So, Mr. Chairman, do they ever determine the cause of the fire?
Actually, what had happened, it was kind of my fault. I had went to the grocery store and I was folding up some paper bags and had them sitting on top of the dishwasher. And I left one that was hadn't been folded yet. And unfortunately, we have a cat that likes to rub up against paper bags and stuff. And I got a phone call during the middle of that, and I went upstairs and I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and I just was kicked back on the bed and I fell asleep. When I woke up, the house full of smoke. So where the fire started at was right at the dishwasher, and I had burner just barely on the stove. I was getting ready to warm something up to eat, and the cat knocked the bag over, is what I assume happened. And the fire marshal looked and he said, well, that's exactly where the fire did start. He said, so he would assume that's what it was. And I had 2 bags of recyclables sitting in front of the dishwasher I was going to take out for the trash. And once that stuff got a lit paper bag on top of it, it just went up.
Yeah. So, Mr. Chairman, this is a condemnation of the main structure and then subsequently the garage. Just be aware, Mr. Keys, that as a condemnation, you will be required to pull all the permits. So the city will not issue you a permit just to put the windows in.
Okay, I understand that.
It'll require, and again, as an owner-occupied property, we don't object to more time. However,
at this time, then, I mean, like I said, my daughter, I don't know when she's actually gonna get her income tax back, but her average is around, she gets usually around $9,000, $10,000 a year back in income tax. So
if I can, Mr. Chairman, we don't object to more time. We would ask for no more than 30 days to get the permits, and for the rehab plan, and then 180 days to correct the condemnation notice.
Okay, well, I guess we'll start off there. You went 30 days for permits. That'd be October 14th, 2022. And if we're looking at 120 days, is that correct? Or 180 days to, according to the rehab plan, you'll have to complete the violations. That would be April 14th, 2023. Motion.
I want to ask you, once I get the permits, then I can go ahead and put the windows in to make the house at least look somewhat better, right?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman of the appellate. Once you receive the permit, you can put the windows in. You can begin to rebuild the inside, and whatever other work is on that permit. Of course, we do.
Okay, what do I ask for to get a permit? Just a homeowner's permit?
If you're planning on doing the work as a single family home, then yes.
Yes.
But we do expect the exterior of the property to be cleaned up. Immediately. Otherwise, you'll be lodged with further enforcement.
Well, I have one problem with cleaning the exterior out. I don't know if this is the time to bring this up or not, but the people next door have got a car illegally parked at the end of their driveway, and I can't even get a truck in and out of there even after I can't even get my tow truck in the driveway to move my one car out because they've got the driveway blocked. And it's a narrow situation, but what they have is two concrete pavers basically going to the back with grass in the middle and grass at the back. There's no parking in the back anymore because their garage fell over. And at the time, I was in a little better health, and the old lady who lived there at that time, she's since passed away. And anyway, I got a dumpster in there, and like I said, the wind blew the garage over. It just fell flat. So I got a dumpster in there, cut it up, what was left, and, took the pieces and put them in a dumpster for her. Because like I said, she was 80 years old, and she had nobody to do it for her. So after that, though, her daughter and son-in-law moved in there. Then she passed away. The daughter passed away. Now the son-in-law's staying there. Nobody's doing anything with that property. But like I said, they keep blocking the end of the driveway. They've been warned by the inspectors several times about doing it because it's illegal to park where they're parked. But right now they've got me totally blocked. So what do I do? Just go talk to them, and then if they don't do something, I have to call the city about this issue.
Well, the city, Mr. Chairman of the appellate, that's a civil matter. If they're blocking access to your property, then I would definitely begin with talking to them and make them aware of the situation, that you've been ordered to clean up the property and you need access to do so.
Okay, and I have one other question. Now, do I call the Board of Health about this problem? According to the one guy who's staying next door, he was talking to somebody up the street. He told him they're living in the house at 2192.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to ask that you not hear matters that's not before this board.
Okay.
No,
I wanted to get your advice before I did anything that was, contrary to the law.
Mr. Chairman, call your inspector. He can provide you with the information you're seeking.
There
Okay,
you go.
thank you.
Okay, so we're going to restate that motion again to get the permits for the rehab plan. October 14th, that's 30 days, 2022. And to complete all the violations, April 14th, that'd be 180 days, 6 months to 2023 in order to complete all the violations. Motion so in order. Okay, motion by Mr. Bradley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Denk.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yeah.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you'll be notified within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
All right, we're going to call the next docket is A 9222-7204 Alice Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is condemnation of the main structure and condemnation of the shed. Issued on May 4th of 2022. Appeal statement received May 23rd of 2022 requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
This is you, Eric. I see the attorney on the panel. There you go.
What I'm worried about is it's eminent
Hello.
on the property at the time of the mortgage.
Can you hear me?
Okay, who is this? What's your name?
My name's Attorney Eric Allen.
Okay, very good. All right.
Is there a way I could get have the case called after another case? I got called into another hearing that I didn't anticipate.
We can move you back.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on to the next case, which is A 9322, 3291 East 145th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is a condemnation of the main structure. issued on April 20th of 2022. Appeal statement received May 5th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Good morning. My name is Fanny Pierre with Supported Investments, LLC.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and let us know what the plans are.
The plans are to fully rehab the property to eventually provide affordable housing to low-income families.
Okay. This is a condemnation of the main structure. Is that what we're dealing with here? Mr. Vanover?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, it does, yes, that is correct. It's a, this is a three-family home.
Okay, so let's see. So that how much time are you thinking you're going to need?
It's a really large project. I was assuming, or I was thinking 6 months. However, we were advised that in order to get the additional mechanical permits pulled, we would need architectural drawings and plans. Those were submitted sometime in July. When I called earlier this week to get an update on the status, some way, somehow, it was lost. So I had my contractor submit it again yesterday. This time I had him speak with someone there and get an actual contact instead of just handing it to intake. So it was submitted to a Mr. Alex Abrahamowitz, probably saying that wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what's the turnaround time for plans to get approved, but ideally the rehab will take 6 months.
Okay. Mr. Vanover?
So, Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, you said that you had your contractor submit plans? So Alex Abramowitz works in the demolition bureau, not the building plans. Is your contractor, you're not the building permit section? So that's probably what happened if he gave them to Alex. I don't know that how he submitted them previously. We don't we're in the habit of losing plans. I'm not showing that there is any application made as of yet. So I will verify that with Mr. Abramovitz. Mr. Chairman, when did you take possession of this property?
I purchased the property the end of 2019 with the idea to rehab it in 2020. Unfortunately, myself and the other member of the entity were healthcare providers. So in 2020 and 2021, we were definitely preoccupied with the pandemic, but we're back on track to getting this place rehab.
Okay. Bear with me just a moment, because so that's what I was bear with me. Let me look at this. So, but this condemnation notice was issued in 21.
I believe it was issued this year, because immediately after it was issued, I submitted the appeal.
All right, I stand corrected. It was not April of 21. It was April of this year. So, Mr. Chairman, we do not object to more time, providing that the property is going to be rehabbed. I will make note that they currently do have a re-roof permit, which is something we will allow while it's in the condemned stage, but there will be a rehab plan, a residential rehab plan required. I would also like to make note that as early as May of this year, the city is paid to board the property up. It is the requirement. It is required that the property owner keep the property secure at all times, because there are board up costs that have been assessed to the property since the issuing of the notice of violation, and the city will, as many times as it's open to casual entry, the city will board it up and you'll be charged for that. So we don't object to 30 days to make application and obtain the permits with 180 days to complete the abatement of the violation notice. I will check with the demolition bureau, but I'm also going to, if your contractor is a contractor that's local, which I'm assuming that they are, reach out to them and make sure they're aware that permits and applications are submitted at construction permitting, not at the demolition bureau.
Okay, will do.
Okay, so motion is in order for October 14th, which would be 30 days to put in for the permits and the rehab plan, and to April 14th, which would be 180 days, 2023, to complete the violations. Motion so in order?
So move.
Second.
All right, motion by Mr. Bradley, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent out to you within 2 weeks. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the next docket. A9322, 3291 East 145th Street. No, that's, wait a minute. Is that right? I'm sorry. We just did that one. I apologize.
We're going to do that at the end.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to A9422, 4305 Brooklyn.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance, issued on April 22nd of 2022. Appeal statement received May 19th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do not see a Kula Cafanteris or Nikki Cafanteris, which looks like the Gmail address, in the participants panel, unless that is caller 3. If you swear in Mr. Vanover, I will do my service inquiry.
Okay. Solemnly swear to tell the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis, did the notice of today's public hearing get returned to the board's file for any reason?
Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Aston, no.
Thank you. And did you receive any communication on behalf of this appellant, voicemail, fax, email, etc.?
Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Aston, no.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, it appears due process was provided and you can proceed on the docket. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is a rental property that is currently registered and renewed. However, as such, it looks like they took possession in 2014. The violation notice is extensive. This was results of our rental inspection unit conducting their periodic inspections. And it appears that there has been a plumbing permit pulled in June, but no other permits, and there are several permits required. Mr. Chairman and Mrs. Davis, was there a specific amount of time requested?
To Mr. Chairman, to Vanover, no.
Well, then, Mr. Chairman, we would ask that you deny any more time and remand it back to the Department of Building and Housing.
Okay, motion is in order to deny more time, remand the property to the Division of Building and Housing for any further action.
So moved.
Okay, Mr.
Second.
Dink. Mr. Maskey, second.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yeah.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, okay, notice will be sent out to them within 2 weeks. All right, next docket, A9522. Let's see, it's 9612 Steinway. Is this
Application and
one,
fees.
go ahead.
Application and fees are in order. The appellant has contacted the board to withdraw their appeal for this docket.
Any, solemnly swear to tell the whole truth, so help you God, Mr. Vanover?
I do.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, they're withdrawing. Did I hear right? They're withdrawing?
yes, they are with.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm just checking back with Mr. Vanover if there's anything we need to do other than just move on.
No, Mr. Chairman, it's a withdrawn appeal. There's no appeal before the board.
Okay, very good. All right, we'll move on to the next docket is docket A9622, 9608 Steinway.
Application and fees are in order. The appellant has withdrawn their appeal.
Okay, Mr. Vanover, solemnly swear to tell the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Same thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, so that's been withdrawn, no action by the board. We'll go back up, see if Mr. Ellie is available. We're gonna reopen docket A9222, 7204 Alice Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is condemnation of the main structure and condemnation of the shed. Issued on May 4th of 2022. Appeal statement received on May 23rd of 2022 requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney, please state your name for the record.
This is Eric Allen. I know he's there. I see him, Mr. Chairman. I don't know what hearing. I will say I know that the housing court does run their docket at the same time. My fear is he got called into that docket as well. He's not jumping on right now. I see he's still muted.
So we can go through resolutions.
Yeah, I would have no objection to you doing your other matters, then giving him a few more minutes. And then if he's not ready at the end, we may have to just see if we're going to continue it, or you don't have to hold forever for him. You can always just continue it. Hopefully he's hearing me. He sounds probably in the midst of his other hearing. So I have no objection to you going forward with your other matters and coming back to.
Okay, we'll do that. Approval of resolutions A7222, 73. We have, 74, 75, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 85, 22. Motion?
Move approval.
Motion by Mr. Dank.
Second.
Second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Approval of minutes for August 31st, 2022. Are there any additions or corrections?
No.
Motion for approval?
So move.
Mr. Bradley?
Second.
Second by Mr. Dink.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, we'll move back up to A9222 and we'll see if they're available. So that is 7204 Alice Avenue. If we're not getting any response, then I guess the move is to continue it.
Yeah, I agree with that. So Eric, are you available? He may not. He's probably still in his other hearing, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman. He
Okay.
practices regularly before the housing court, and we have the same hearing times.
Okay, do we need a motion to continue?
I don't think so. I think you just
Okay.
reschedule it. Although you did open it, you can just reopen it when you reschedule it. And I will send him an email and copy Carmela. Carmela, are you inclined to send him for 2 weeks at the end of September or in October?
He will be rescheduled for September 28th of 2022.
Okay, I'll shoot out an email and copy you and Waverly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other business to come before us?
No.
None. Okay, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Tom, I'll give you a call.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
How it going? Good 2 weeks.